So earlier this week, there were some chat logs from the NSA's IntelLink messaging platform that were obtained by researchers from the Manhattan Institute that apparently exposed a transgender sex chat room. Yes, this is the NSA's messaging platform. Okay. And so during business hours, there were employees who were just openly discussing male to female transgender surgeries, castration. They were talking about the faux vaginas. They were talking about pee fetishes. By the way, this would be a good time to say, if you have young children in the room, you should probably.
How often do young children watch Sara Unfiltered?
You know, it's funny that you ask that, Steve. Every once in a while, I'll get someone and they're like, I've been watching you since I was 11. And I'm like, I don't know how much I love that, but this is not sold as a children-friendly show, okay? So they were talking about, talking bad about heterosexuals and discussing group sex. Just, the typical thing that you would think that government employees should be engaging in while on your dime, I guess. And so Tulsi Gabbard yesterday announced immediate action taken upon all of these employees that were engaged in all of these behaviors on government servers. Watch.
There were over 100 people from across the intelligence community that contributed to and participated in this, what is really just an egregious violation of trust, what to speak of like basic rules and standards around professionalism. I put out a directive today that they all will be terminated and their security clearances will be revoked. But the thing here, Jesse, is like we got to take a step back because this is just barely scratching the surface. When you see what these people were saying, and thanks to Chris Rufo for putting it all out online, they were brazen in using an NSA platform intended for professional use to conduct this kind of really horrific behavior. And they were brazen in doing this because when was the last time anyone was really held accountable? Certainly not over the last 4 years, certainly not over the last 10, maybe 20 years. When we look at some of the biggest violations of the American people's trust in the intelligence community. So today's action in holding these individuals accountable is just the beginning of what we're seeing across the Trump administration.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, this is what happens when you hire based off of DEI. You get a bunch of degenerates who want to gather on government servers and talk about fake vaginas and urine fetishes. I mean, legitimately, like, this is a direct result, I would argue, of DEI.
Yeah.
Why are you hiring these degenerates?
And I think this activity was even justified as, in the era of, diversity and, acceptance and equality and accepting everyone in different viewpoints, which is just absolutely insane because government didn't used to work like that.
No.
When I was in the intelligence community, any kind of, messaging system that we used, which that was a long time ago. So it was probably yellow sticky notes marked with, top secret. But no, we did have several like government, like electronic services, and you couldn't do anything personal on those. Nothing personal. You couldn't shoot a message saying, "Hey, are you going to play basketball after work?"
Well, what's personal about talking about group sex, Jason? What would be personal about that?
Right.
It's just team building. Team
building.
Right?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, done, with taxpayer dollars, who knows how long these conversations are going on. And these are, they're supposed to be guardians for America. Mm-hmm. That's what they're supposed to be doing. But instead they're talking about, this crap. I don't think, every time we find out something about DEI, we're like, oh, wow, that's bad. But then we find out, but what we didn't know is, they're targeting our children.
Yep.
Wow, we didn't know that. Okay, this is a lot worse. Then we find something else out. Like, what else don't we know right now that is still going on? We were talking to some people, whistleblowers in the FBI, who don't even think that, people like Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are going to be enough to actually fix the FBI. It is that systemic of an issue with DEI and all the other abuse. I mean, this is going to take the 4 full years and maybe not even get done at that point. That's how bad it's been.
Yeah, I mean, because you think about how much has been chipped away at with the 4 years of the Biden administration. He, of course, overturned President Trump's prior EO about transgenders in the military. So he told the military departments to immediately ensure individuals who identify as transgender are eligible to enter and serve in their self-identified gender. And then on top of that, you had the National Security Agency director in May of 2021 who approved the agency's first gender identity expression and affirmation policy, the first of its kind to address equal employment opportunity and promote a safe and inclusive work environment for transgender personnel. And then back in October of that same year, he released his plan for diversity across the intelligence community. I recognize the critical importance of ensuring that the highly talented workforce reflects the diversity of our country now and throughout the future. And, he went on to talk about stress in the NSA. In the NSA to stress the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's crazy.
It's crazy.
So they've been doing this for literal years.
Yeah.
It's going to take years to undo.
But how did they go from being absolutely scared to death to even flirt with someone in the office just a few years ago to doing this? I don't know where those swords got crossed, or those laser beams or Ghostbuster beams got crossed somehow, because this is it's almost endemic. And so many other areas, we know about it. I guarantee you that elements of the press, especially the D.C. press, have known about this. People don't keep these things secret. They talk about it. They leak it. They let it out. It's covered up. I mean, back, 2007, the guy who is now the chief counsel for the Capitol Police, he's going to love me because he actually tried to have me thrown in prison once. His name's Chad Tobias.
Just once?
Oh, yeah. He was caught. When he was an AUSA, an associate or assistant U.S. attorney, he was caught sexting associates in his office. And back then, 2007, the DOJ fired him. He ended up floundering in a couple of private practices for a while, got back into government, and became the lead counsel for the Capitol Police, where he is today. And when I revealed that little nugget of information, which has been totally scrubbed from the internet, and the D.C. media the local media has never covered this little impropriety on his part and his position today. When I revealed it, he called the DOJ, from one of our sources, the DOJ, next day screaming, saying, put him in prison.
Wow.
Because I revealed that a few months ago.
Wow.
Last year, or a year and a half ago, whatever it was. But the point being is that even our DOJ would fire somebody for just sexting another coworker back then. How do we get from there to here?
It's interesting you point out that year 2007, because I think it took a big leap in 2008 under Obama. And I always think back to, Michelle Obama, what was that, in 2008, when she was doing that campaign appearance in Puerto Rico, where she said, Barack knows that we're going to have to change our traditions, change our history. I mean, they were setting us up for, under the Obama administration, to take cultural Marxism, a concept that came from Germany, a concept that was designed to create the Soviet Union, basically, without the violent revolution. Instead of participating in class warfare, to participate in culture warfare. That's what this is all about. And that's why I think it's so important that we not laugh off this DEI stuff.
Yeah.
Don't laugh it off. Don't look at it like, oh, it's good that the Trump administration's, dealing it with the. No, they need to go to war against this ideology, because it's cultural Marxism. It's exactly what it is. It's designed to create this oppressor versus oppressed mentality, and eventually, lead to a more egalitarian, not an earned, equal opportunity, but an equal outcome type society. That's what it's actually about. That's the end game for it. So it's much more. But Obama started this bull crap. He was the one that first started writing executive orders and starting all this DEI stuff. It went away for a little bit. He didn't have something to really send it overboard. But then Biden had COVID. and all of the draconian laws that we had under COVID. He used that and wrote all this DEI crap into COVID response.
Yeah.
They had that catalyst to really push this over. That's why it's so bad now. It was a whole of government response for cultural Marxism, basically. That's how sinister this is.
Yeah. And I mean, you think about the level in which I say this all the time, like DEI kills. It just does. At the end result of it, when you're talking about having DEI policies in the military, having DEI policies for national security, so we're not hiring off of some merit-based system where, hey, for our military, I just want really strong men who are killing machines. That's it. That's literal. I mean, that's not it for some of these positions, but you understand my point. If you like this clip and you want to see the full episode, click here. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, come on, you know you do. Click here.